Alright, it's Sunday. I'm doing my morning weigh-in. I need to have gained at least half a pound for me to be happy, so 163 would be the goal. We fucking did it! We did it. We hit the 0.8 pounds. So, sorry, I got the food in my mouth. I'm snacking because I'm still trying to push this number up higher, and I don't stop snacking. This is actually the snack in between my snacks. So, I mean, it's chicken nuggets. You can't go wrong. It's so hot. I just came out of the oven. Okay, yeah, so I'm obviously really pumped that we hit that number. Looking to keep it going, keep it pushing. Next up, I have got one of my good friends who does Olympic weightlifting to sort of coach me. I hear that gymnasts are pretty good at picking that up, so I'm giving it a shot. Dan was a huge help with that. He knows what he's talking about, and I am absolutely super green on Olympic weightlifting. I hit some really fucked up ones, and I hit some really good ones. So, so much food. So I got that up next with my workout, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about my diet next week, and then competition stuff next week as well. This week I'm going to give you another little bit on my life after the workout. So I'm not going to leave you on an edge from last week. I'm going to give you some more clarity. That's a closing book in case you're curious, and watch ahead, and I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, man, the world needs better laws. Maybe then we'll be better off. I'm hoping that it comes, but it never does. I just wanna be the man my dad never was. Hear my music, it's all soul. Just got new grills and they all go. So I got that beef with the po-po. They don't like my style, no. I don't really give a damn, I keep steering. Switch gears and the fans just keep cheering. No interceptions, no interference. I'm on an A-team, no Ed Sheeran. I'm headed for the stage now, they clearing all the bad women in the building. Man, there's bad women in the building. Let's get it started tonight. This one's on me, let's go downtown tonight. One shot, two shots, I don't really know if I'm counting right. We drink it down so we can live it up. Why? Cause you never know what tomorrow brings in this crazy life. Hey, this life, this life, this life, this life. And I'm thankful.
Another good workout. Very happy about it. Using Zach Perna's program for my legs, and then the Olympic weightlifting. I got a coach for that. I just like to switch it up, keep my body engaged, but also keep my mind engaged. And I found that the Olympic weightlifting was much more mental, because there was a lot of technique that I didn't know how to do. That being said, we're going to dive back into a quick story time of me and my mom and how we sort of kind of came full circle with our lives. My mom moved to Surrey, BC, where she lived with a bunch of drug addicts and alcoholics, essentially. She had me when she was 17, and that was sort of her life, where I was constantly in this house that was partying all the time. They would find any excuse to party, It's a birthday, let's have a party. You got your driver's license, let's get a party. We poured a bowl of cereal, let's party. It was just basically nonstop. She didn't want that for me. She didn't want that for my brother either. My brother, who's only a year and a half younger than me. So we were really young, and we were constantly in a state of partying. She wanted to get us away from that. These guys were stealing, these guys were doing drugs, these guys were just not good people. Eventually, my real dad called my mom and convinced her to move back to Alberta, and we did. A little condo in kind of like the Hoodie area. Not really a nice place at all, but it was a place. It was a better place than where we were. She got us in school. She got a job. She got a car, and things were starting to pan out. And then about a year after that, that's when my dad died. Now, at this time, I didn't know he was my dad. My mom kind of knew, but she wasn't really sure. He died driving in the winter. He slid off the road, and his car flipped upside down and fell off of an overpass, and from what I understand, the top of the car hit the ground, and he had his best friend in there with him as passenger, and they both ended up dying from that car accident. My mom started dating again, and she didn't really find good guys. My mom can't really pick good guys. You could have a whole lineup of good guys and one asshole, and she'd find the asshole. It's just the way that she is. You know, a lot of the guys didn't treat her right. They never abused her physically. My mom never got hit, but she was abused emotionally, a lot. I remember sitting in my room as a young boy and hearing my mom and her boyfriend fighting in the kitchen. And you know, this one guy was a real jerk. He'd punch holes in the walls. He'd steal her car and drive off and not come home late at night. He was also a drug addict. He was also an alcoholic. He was trying to be a gangster. I guess he was a gangster to think about it, because you know, he did a lot of shady shit. And I remember listening to this, and I wanted it to stop so badly. So I thought, if I start hitting my head against a wall or a door or something like that, they would hear me and they would come to help me. So I started hurting myself, essentially, so that they would stop. It didn't really work. You know, she stayed with him for a long time. They kept fighting. They ended up having a kid together. They had my sister. And my sister Haley is a super strong girl. She's very independent. She's very tough. In that way, she got that from her father. But she's also a lot like my mom and myself. She's very caring. She's emotional, and she wants just peace. She just wants love, you know, is very respectful. When I was about 17, I wanted to be like my stepdad because I thought he was cool. You know, he wasn't my stepdad, but he was around long enough. But he was that jerk. He was that, you know, be mean to people, sell drugs, like become an alcoholic sort of person. And I, for whatever reason, you know, I thought that was what you're supposed to be. That was my father figure. It was my dad, and I wanted to be like my dad. And I started doing that. So I started getting in trouble. I started drinking a lot. I got into drugs. I had a lot of friendships end because I was just mean. And I thought it was cool. I thought it was who I wanted to be. It turns out that it wasn't at all who I am. And I wasn't very good at it, but I tried it. You know, I ruined relationships. I ruined friendships. I started selling drugs. I started drinking every day. I wanted to be the cool guy, so I just kept drinking and thought the more I drank, the more drugs I did, the more fun I was. It doesn't work out that way, because one time I was at a festival and I overdosed. And my heart started going crazy. My vision started blurring. I started seeing things that weren't there. And I remember specifically, one of my friends had to bring me to a cab to get me home. I didn't go to the hospital because I was worried that if I did that, it would be real. So we went in a cab and went home. And I felt like my heart was going to stop. I really felt like I was going to die. And I just knew in my head that I can't have my mom read that her son died to a drug overdose. I didn't really care about me as much. I cared about how it would affect her and how it would affect other people. Growing up, I've always kind of had depression. I have ADHD. I'm medicated for it. So I was never really too concerned about my well-being, but I'm very concerned about others. And that's one person who was always there for me, and I didn't want to disappoint her. So after I had that episode, I decided to not do drugs anymore. I decided to clean my life up, and I had to leave Edmonton and move to Kelowna in order to get away from it all, because there's just an excuse to party. If somebody had a birthday, if somebody got their driver's license, if somebody poured a bowl of cereal, we would party. And you know, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree in that way. But I got out of it, and I came to Kelowna, and I started training again, and I started working towards something. And I knew I wasn't going to compete, but I found the circus. I found job opportunities there where I could flip and still entertain people, make people laugh, make people smile. And I got to meet so many amazing people. Some people are my best friends to this day. and I love them, and they really helped save my life. But that story will be for another episode.